Hi everybody, welcome to my review of Season 3, Episode 6 of Little Women Atlanta. If you haven't seen this episode yet, this video will act like a spoiler, so you might want to watch this video later. The name of this episode is Dinner Reservations. So the episode begins with Minnie and Juicy going clothing shopping together. Juicy says she and Minnie have become close again in their friendship, and she likes that. Then, Juicy tells Minnie that she's happy that the ladies came out to support her at her pilot taping of her show, Juicy Talk. Juicy says she's hesitant about telling her family about her sex talk show because her father was a preacher. She says that her mother and sister will be visiting, and she wants Minnie and the ladies to meet her. And Minnie is skeptical about meeting Juicy's mother because of what happened between Juicy and her own mother with the chicken wing incident. Then, Minnie says that she does not know if she wants to go to the dinner. In the next scene, Amanda and Jordan are shown at their apartment. Amanda says that her relationship with Jordan is going great and he's really supportive. And then there's a knock on the door, and a delivery person is at the door with lots of roses. Then they bring the roses inside, and then Amanda opens up the note that came with the flowers, and it says, "Sorry I lost it, sis. I love you, Andrea." And then Amanda gets a little emotional, and she decides to thank her sister for the flowers in person. When she goes over to Andrea's apartment, and then they hug each other. And then they sit down and talk. Andrea tells Amanda that she called their mom to apologize for what she said to her, and their mom is taking care of her son for her, and she isn't acting like herself. Then Amanda points out how Andrea lost weight, and how she needs to get back to how she was. And then Andrea says she's going to see a counselor, and she's looking forward to that. Amanda says that it's good that she's going to open up to a counselor about her problems with Chris. Andrea says Chris went back to Texas, and even though it's for the best, it still breaks her heart. In the next scene, Tanya is shown at her house. She gets a knock on her door, and the person who's at the door is her brother, Guy. Tanya says her brother and her are best friends. She says Guy and his wife are having issues, and Guy is staying with Tanya, along with his tarantula, until things with his wife get better. Then, Sam comes into the room and she's surprised to see that Tanya's brother is there. And then, Tanya shows her brother to his room. When she comes back out, Sam asks Tanya what's up with her brother coming to stay, and why didn't she tell her in advance. In the commentary, Tanya says it's her house, and she doesn't have to explain to Sam why she's letting her brother stay. And then, Sam points out how when Tanya's kids come back, there are only going to be 3 bedrooms. And then Tanya says that Sam's rooms is hers for the moment. In the commentary, Sam asks why is Tanya acting like such a, and is she going to kick her out? In the next scene, Money is shown in her apartment with Juicy, trying to find her engagement ring. So they look under the couch cushions, they look in the drawers, they look under the mattress, and they look in the drain of the sinks. Money says if she can't find the ring, she'll be afraid of what Moreland has to say, since the ring means a lot to him. And unfortunately, Juicy and Money don't find the ring. Juicy tells Money that she should just tell Moreland that she lost the ring. Next, Minnie chats with her mother, Tammy, while painting her closet. Minnie tells her mom that Juicy's mom and sister are in town, and she wants the group to meet them. Minnie says that she's iffy about what Juicy's mom will have to think about her, considering what happened in the past with Juicy and her mom. Minnie says she doesn't know what Juicy told her mom and sis about her. Tammy says if anything pops off, just call her. Minnie says she doesn't know what to expect, and she doesn't want to disrespect anybody. Then Tammy tells Minnie to not walk in with any negativity, but at the back of her mind, knuckle up, because she knows how Juicy can get. Tanya is shown at her house with Sam. Sam asks Tanya what's up with her, since she's been acting kind of mad lately. Tanya says she just misses her kids, and that's just adding to the stress. Sam says maybe they can go out and have some drinks to help Tanya unwind. Tanya says she doesn't feel like it, and instead, her brother and Sam should go. Then, Sam says Tanya should at least go to the carnival with the ladies. Tanya says just thinking about that makes her sick. She says that she doesn't have an appetite, and she just wants to lay down. Then Tanya goes into her room and lays down. Then Sam pours Tanya some ginger ale, and she goes into her room to give it to her, and Tanya rejects it and then tells Sam to leave her alone. going on with her? Andrea goes to see a therapist about her issues with Chris. She tells the therapist that Chris runs away from his problems constantly. The therapist asks Andrea what attracted her to him. Andrea says she doesn't know. The therapist asks if she trusts him. Andrea says she tries to, but she can't. The therapist asks, what has he done to earn Andrea's trust? Andrea says, nothing. The therapist says it sounds like Chris is allowed to do what he pleases, and Andrea will be there for him. Andrea brings up how her family tells her that Chris is no good for her, and she just snaps at them when they tell her that. And then she gets a little emotional, and then she mentions how that is causing her and her sister to drift apart. The therapist tells Andrea that she should talk to her sister about how she feels about her butting into her relationship when she isn't angry. The therapist also says that Andrea deserves so much more, and if she believes she does, why is she settling for less? In the next scene, Minnie and Money meet up at the jewelry store so Money can try to replace her engagement ring. Money asks the employee if Moreland had insurance on the ring. Then the employee goes back and checks. While they're waiting, Minnie tells Money about how she feels about meeting Juicy's mom and sister. Money says that Minnie's impression that she'll put on Juicy's mom is based on Juicy's vibe, and if Juicy's cool, her mom will be cool. Then the employee comes back and tells Money that there isn't insurance on the ring, and if she were to replace it, it would cost $3,000 to $3,500. Then Minnie tells Money that her best bet is just to tell Moreland that she lost the ring. Money says her knowing how much Moreland spent on the ring makes her even more nervous about how she'll break the news to him about losing it. Next, the twins take Aubrey to the doctor. While they're in the waiting room, Amanda asks how her therapy went. Andrea says that it went well and they talked about Chris and how she and Andrea shouldn't let boyfriends get in between them, and it felt good talking to the therapist. In the commentary, Andrea says therapy made her realize that she needs to communicate with her family instead of going off on them all the time. Then the twins and Aubrey go into the exam room and meet with the pediatrician. Then the pediatrician checks Aubrey out and asks Andrea questions about her, and then, after that, the doctor says Aubrey may be a little behind with her growth, and she needs to be set up in a program that does things like speech therapy for kids that aren't talking yet. Amanda mentions how she and her sister had speech therapy when they were smaller, and Andrea says they were very delayed. The doctor says that Aubrey might be taking after her mother. In the commentary, Amanda says that it's common for LP babies to develop slower than average-sized babies. The doctor says in the program, Aubrey's strength will be checked out, and they'll see if she needs any special exercises, and that Aubrey will need to come back for another appointment in 2 months. Andrea says hearing the doctor confirm her worries with Aubrey is stressing her out. She has so much on her plate, and she can't handle any more. As Amanda and Andrea are putting Aubrey in the car, Andrea starts crying, and she says that she's so worried about Aubrey. Amanda tells Andrea that no matter what happens, she'll be there for her, and Aubrey will be okay. Next, the group meets up with Juicy so they can meet Juicy's mom and sister. Then, Ms.Juicy, her mom, Shirley, and her sister, Tanya, show up to the restaurant. Everyone introduces themselves, and Minnie is nervous. After Minnie introduces herself, she doesn't get a negative reaction from Juicy's mom, which is a relief to her. Then, Money asks Shirley how Juicy was as a kid. Shirley says that Juicy was mischievous, and then Juicy's sister tells the group a story about when she and Juicy were kids. And then, Amanda asks Juicy's sister and or mom if they told her about her sex talk TV show. And Juicy's mom and sister are surprised. Juicy said she was going to tell them that she was doing the show, but not at the dinner. Juicy's mom says that her father wouldn't like that. And Juicy explains that what she does on the show is just give advice. And then Juicy's mom says she's just going to get up and leave the table. So she gets up and leaves. And then Juicy's sister says that Juicy should have told her friends not to bring up the show at the dinner in front of their mom. And then Juicy leaves the table too. Well. Guess Ms.Juicy got a little taste of her own medicine. Somebody done spilled her tea. in front of her mother to top it all off. Doesn't feel so good, huh, Miss Juicy? In the next scene, Juicy meets Sam and Tanya to pick them up to take them to the carnival. Juicy says that she's debating on whether she should still do the sex talk show. She says her mom was mad when she found out. Tanya says she's sorry it got brought up and asks Juicy if she's mad at the twins. Juicy says that she's not mad at the twins for spilling the beans, and there's a time and place for things, and she's not going to say anything to them, because that night the group is going to have a good time, and Andrea is already stressing out enough. In the next scene, the ladies meet up at the carnival, and then one of the ladies notices that Money hasn't shown up. Then one of the twins calls Money, and Money's phone goes straight to voicemail.
Sorry, the number you have dialed.
And then the ladies go and play some games and go on some rides and eat some food at the carnival. And then Sam and Tanya sit down and talk. Tanya says she has something to tell Sam. She tells Sam that the reason why she was acting like such a towards her the other day is because, drumroll please, she's pregnant. Sam says that she knew she was gonna say that, and Sam congratulates her, and then Tanya tells Sam not to tell the rest of the ladies, and she's only 2 months along. Wow. So Tanya's having another child. A third child. And to top it off, she's single, as far as we know. Wonder if Nico's the daddy. And I guess we'll find out who the daddy is later. Before I move on, I want to say something. I could kind of tell that Tanya was pregnant because I guess in the second episode of this season, you could see her like belly button was poking out. And before the third season even started, I remember one day I was looking on Tanya's Twitter page, and she had a link to an Instagram picture, and she was all like, I was waiting to announce this pregnancy, blah 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 blah, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's pregnant? And I was like, oh no, I just ruined the show for myself. But later on, I found out that that Instagram post was from when she was pregnant with her daughter. So it's kind of weird, you know? So then I thought I didn't ruin the show for myself. Then when I watched that episode where they show her, when I saw her belly button poking out, I was like, maybe her belly button's like that because she already had 2 kids. Or maybe she really is pregnant. So at least I know now. At least I know that she's really pregnant now. Wonder how she's gonna be able to handle 3 kids and as a single mother. Oh yeah, I forgot. Nico's moving to Atlanta, so hopefully he's gonna be there to help with the babies. Now let's move on. In the final scene of the episode, Money is shown at her house. And then Moreland comes home. And Money makes him a drink. And then Money tells Moreland that she has something to tell him. Money says that she's worried about what he'll say. Then she starts crying a little bit. Then she tells Moreland that she lost the engagement ring. And then Moreland was like, is this a prank? And then Moreland says he went through a lot to get that ring, and it was a token from his heart. And then Moreland gets mad, and then he gets up and walks out the apartment. And then Money calls Moreland on the phone, and then Money starts crying even harder. And she tells Moreland that she was careless for losing the ring. Then Moreland says there's not going to be a wedding, and hangs up right in Money's face. And then Money just keeps on bawling. And that's the end of the episode. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that was just some heat of the moment stuff. Cause, wow. Poor Money. I hope that's just some heat of the moment stuff. I hope they really talk stuff out. So, that's all I have to say about this episode. I hope you guys found this episode review helpful, entertaining, even. I know this review was a little boring because this episode was like basically like, I don't know, a highlight episode to see what everyone's up to. There's not really a lot of drama. You know how they have those episodes. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Give this video a like if you liked it. Follow me on Twitter at ILUMoreThanThis. If you haven't, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have subscribed, turn on my notifications. If you want to catch up on my old Little Women Atlanta review videos, you can check those out too. They're all in one playlist. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!